The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters at Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today that I think you're going to enjoy. Ivan Estrada. Ivan is a real estate entrepreneur who is the CEO of Ivan Estrada Properties. He's also the creator of the Brand with Ecosystem, which contains branding with a purpose, branding video, and of course, brand with podcast. Ivan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Middle of the week, feeling pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's funny. In LA, it's always sunny.
Right?
Except it's actually cloudy today. What
Just
is happening in the world?
it's just throwing your whole week off,
It's weird. I'm like, what time is it? It's dark outside.
Yeah. Hey, where I'm at, I'm just glad we're not having another hurricane. So, I'm in Southeast Florida, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, but that's a whole different story. So Ivan, I was doing my due diligence and reading some of your material, and man, I'm just really fascinated by it. So let's just start at the beginning. How did you get started and get to where you are now?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised here in LA. My parents are immigrants from Mexico.
Okay.
I originally started as a singer. As a kid, I was signed to a record company pretty early on.
Nice.
I knew that being on a stage and being able to communicate emotion with my voice was something I wanted to do.
Right.
Which is funny because kind of gone
Full
around
circle.
in full circle, exactly. But after that didn't work out, or did it actually?
Here we are.
I ended up going to USC, Marshall School of Business, Leventhal School of Accounting. I worked at an accounting firm as a CPA for a couple of years until I realized, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Great training, though. I've always been a numbers guy. They come very easy to me, but it was just not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I had a conversation with my dad, who the reason I wanted to go into accounting was because that was my dad's dream, to be a CPA, but he couldn't. He had to work and put food on the table, and he actually helped manage me for a while in the music world. And I said this was my gift to him, but unfortunately, it wasn't my path. Learned a lot, and about almost 14 years ago, I decided to go into the real estate world, which is something I always wanted to do. This was something that always fascinated me early on. And I thought, in real estate, you're able to bring in all the experiences that you've gotten from, past work experiences or education or just things that make you unique, right? Like what other field can you go into where you can be who you want to be, do the business you want to do, and create something that's uniquely yours, right? Because I think all real estate agents, we're not all created equal. We're all very different. And in this field, we get to really be ourselves, which for me, it gives me so much fulfillment.
Very nice. Very nice. So let's talk about today. Let's talk about, what, your vision and what you have to offer. And, from what I can tell, it's a nice package of success. That's what I'd call it. Rebrand it right now, the package of success. But it really is. I mean, you offer quite a bit that I think realtors, especially, or people in in that field, lack, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. So I'll give you, I think for me, which was the number one secret of my success, was early on, I knew the importance of building a brand in real estate because, when you work at a certain company, yes, you have to use a lot of their marketing pieces and follow a lot of their rules, which you should, right? We all should. But at the same time, there's, like I said before, there's an opportunity to really showcase what makes you special. And so for me, early on in my career, I thought, what do I want to be known for? What is the one or two things that I want my clients to always remember me for? And for me, my number one thing was my past as an accountant, right? I was able to use those skills, not to do their CPA work, right? I'm not doing any tax returns, but I'm able to see things from a different perspective, see a home and an investment property in a completely different light than my clients can, and most real estate agents well, because of my prior experience. And then the other thing was, like I had said before, being in front of an audience, being on stage, being in front of a camera, for me, early on was very tough, but I got comfortable with it. And I decided, why can I'm going to take my skills that I learned being in front of the camera as a kid, as an adult, as a real estate agent. And this was 13 years ago. We didn't really have Instagram. Facebook on video wasn't the greatest, but there was YouTube. Started doing YouTube videos. There was no one that I know of other than Christoph Chu at Coldwell Banker who was doing them. And I said, there's an opportunity for me to be able to educate my sphere, my clients, people that I know about real estate, and make it very interesting. Make it me, right? Design, technology, real estate trends, global real estate, all the things that I'm fascinated by and love to talk about, put it on video and leverage it. And for me, those two things were the things that really helped bring my career to where it's at today. And honestly, I think right now, for any real estate agent who's listening to this podcast, those are two things that you should really consider if you're not doing it, right? Like, one, video. I think NAR put out a number that still 85% of realtors are not doing any type of video content. And your beautiful face is the brand, right? You need to put your face on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. There's so many opportunities for that. And then the other thing is, know what your brand is. Like, what are the things that you want to stand out for in your community as a broker? Because in a market like the one that we're in today, right, which is this is a market I've never seen. And I've been in the real estate game for almost 14 years. When I started, it was a recession. And right now, right, without saying it, there's, things are choppy, not just here in the US, but around the world. And so right now, I've been telling people, friends of mine who are in the real estate industry, I have two people on my team, is right now is the time to really solidify with yourself, what do you want to be known for, right? What do you want to stand for? Because right now, more than ever, these are the things that matter, because there's still a lot of competition out there. And right now you need to shine for the things that you are talented at. Like, what are your talents? What can you give your clients? What can you give buyers and sellers that no other real estate agent can?
Right. It's so true. With the advent of technology now, as opposed to where it was, say, when I adulted, in 1992, that was so much more a boots on the ground mentality. And there's nothing wrong with boots on the ground. Plenty of people do it today, right? Pressing palms and getting to know people is paramount to success. But I really love your thought processes, just like you said a decade ago, where nobody was doing it, and now it has evolved into everyone should do it, right? I mean, it's like Andy Warhol said, everybody gets 15 minutes of fame. I think if you're in real estate, whether they have your acumen for the ability to speak well and or perform, that they should be creating their 15 hours of fame, or whatever it may be, because that's how you're going to get that foot in the door now, or at least part of it. There's only so many interactions you're going to have, but there's so many online. Am I right? Or
You're right. And the thing that you said, Tim, which I think is very important for including myself, for all agents, it doesn't matter if you've been in the business for 2 years or 20 years, is we all have to go back to the basics, right? The
Right.
basics is we're on a person-to-person business,
Right.
right? We are going out there and door knocking, right? Warm calling or calling your sphere, sending out handwritten notes, picking up the phone, right? And calling people, right? No, nobody does that anymore. I think
Right.
using that and leveraging video to be able to really, like, there's actually two agents who are friends of mine. They're at a different firm and they love door knocking. And I said,
Yeah.
they work really hard. Have you ever filmed this? No. You should film it, right? Send it to your sphere of influence, because if other sellers in your sphere say, wow, they're out there marketing my property in the entire neighborhood, literally door knocking, right? Like, how amazing is that going to be? It's going to really show that regardless of the market, you're in there, right? You're putting in that sweat equity, which is what we all have to do, right now in this market. It's not like it was in the last 2 years. We really, unfortunately, we all have to work now, right? Like, really hard.
All right, everybody, gather around. They call it work for a reason. You're coming to work. Yeah, I so agree. And I'm never a harbinger of negativity. I really, really don't want to be that. But it could get worse. I mean, it could get harder, not necessarily worse. That's a tough word, but it could get more difficult. And if you can't get the basics done, how do you expect to excel when things are stacked against you for a temporary period of time? And that just happens in business and in life in general. So let me ask you this, Ivan, if I could wave a magic wand, and just say, Ivan, I can take care of one singular problem for you today, something that's really haranguing you or maybe has been in your business, what would that be?
Oh God, do you have one magic wand or two?
Well, it's buy one, get one free Wednesday. So
I won't get the free Wednesday. Okay. I think one of the things that I'm always trying to strive to be better at, and I'm always a work in progress, is to be a better leader to my team.
There you go.
I think as much as I put into the process and my team themselves, like, for example, we have our team meetings every Monday,
Right.
for an hour, which is important for any team leader in real estate. Every Friday, we also have a training where all three of us get together, and each of us we teach a different topic that's either real estate related, business related, branding related. It doesn't have to be all real estate, but something that is encompassing that would help us kind of think outside of the box. They also they get to use my coach as well, my business coach, which has been a great impact in my life and in their life as well. But at the same time, it's, I think as a leader, I always think, what else can I do? Especially in times like this, my team is my family. And when things get rough, I'm always trying to figure out what else can I do? What else can I do? And as a team lead, I'm never satisfied. And I think that's good in a way, because I'm always trying to push and wanting more for myself, but also them. But at the same time, it's like, like I never feel like there's enough, right? Like I wish I could split myself up into more people and be able to give them all the time, be there for all the negotiations, anytime they have any questions. So I feel like that's one of the things that I'm always trying to be better at. But at the same time, it's like we only have so much time and so much leverage. And
Right.
we don't have a time machine, or what do you call it? One of those I remember those cartoons where they would walk into that capsule and then you can get two of them. It's like, if we had one of those, I'd definitely use it.
A duplicity machine where all of a sudden you're branched off into two and you get twice as much done. And I agree with you. I mean, it's like I work with doing this show, and the company that sponsors it, there's 60 employees, and most of them don't even understand what I do. They're just like, what? Well, I don't understand. You talk to realtors all day? Well, okay, yeah, it's just that easy. But there's a lot of things I don't understand with them, and I wish I could help them. I wish that would make us more productive overall. That's why I understand where you're coming from 100%. But you know what? Also, Ivan, that it's like that carrot, right, dangling in front of you. If everything were to be solved, does that carrot disappear? You know what I mean? So though you have these challenges that maybe aren't fulfilled, that's what might be one of the things that keeps us going. Because I know me, I wake up every day going, okay, I got 7 things I didn't get done yesterday or have to be done. Let's put that at the front of the line and then everything else. I don't know. That's just my theory. I haven't tested it, but that's my thought. So
If you're a high achiever, you're always going to have things on your plate. That's just
yeah,
something that we all have to accept. And that's good that we have things to do, because if we're
yeah,
high achievers and we have nothing on our plate, we're in trouble.
right, right. We may just pack it up at that point and say, well, been fun. So we've talked about how you got started. We've talked about your branding products, and then kind of, and we also talked about your business. So let's put our prognostication hats on. And you're the type of guy, high achieving person that I would say probably has a pretty good plan of what the next year is going to look like for you. Can you talk about that a little bit and what's that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't have a business coach, I strongly advise everyone who's listening to have an accountability partner, either at your company, or they could be at a different company, that's okay too, or in a different state that has a similar market to yours. For example, I have my business coach here in LA, but I also have partners in New York, and in Miami and in Chicago where we mastermind, right? Because sometimes it depends on the market, where sometimes it hits New York first and then hits LA second, right? And I always want to be prepared for that wave if it's coming my way. If I had to put on my futurist hat, one thing that I do advise, which I'm currently doing, is I'm going over all my expenses, not just business but personal.
Okay.
I think obviously none of us really know what's going to happen in the next 6 months to a year. I mean, I've heard various prognosis from, I actually just spoke to one of my friends who's a lender at a major bank, and he said, yeah, there's a probability of interest rates hitting 9 or 10% by January, February, which for all of us in real estate, I mean, that's pretty drastic, right?
Sure.
We don't know, but it may happen. And so one, I advise all agents to make sure that you go over your business and personal expenses, right? And what are the things that you can cut that are not going to affect your business, right? The efficiency. Because look, a lot of us, I was overspending on a lot of things that weren't necessary, that were not working, that databases that I had for calling for sell by owners or foreclosed properties that I was spending $600 a month for. And I asked my team, hey, how often do you guys use this? Oh yeah, we haven't used it in 8 months. Oh, great. I've been spending $600 a month for the last 8 months. So
Right.
Going over all of your expenses, both business and personal, and really trying to figure out what you can cut, right? But again, you're not cutting to reduce efficiency and effectiveness. It's cutting because it's not working, right? And I think we should always evaluate that every 3 to 6 months. I think it's important. I think the second thing that people should really look at right now is, how are you doing with your marketing? Both digital, print as well, and really look at what you're doing and really sit down with yourself, your team, your marketing coordinator, your admin, and figure out what's working, what's not, and what can we make better. Because I think right now there's an opportunity for a lot of agents to either get more market share or to really make noise for what they stand for, right? Like we talked about building a brand, and really go over your marketing, your website, your newsletters, your online presence, right? Your Google, your LinkedIn. Make sure, actually, my one of my admins is helping me right now, making sure that all of our profiles on every database, every social media platform is in sync with one another, because I think it's very, very important to do that. And then third, the market, right? Like what is going to happen? I've been telling not just my team, but myself, regardless of what happens, if you are a good agent, if you are an agent who works hard, an agent who will figure out, right? We all got to put food on the table. And when push comes to shove, we got to do what we got to do. So as long as it's good to stay educated on the market. It's good to have our buyers and sellers navigate this difficult market. But we also have to close. I tell my team, put earmuffs on to any negativity, either in the office, outside of the office. If there's any media that you're listening to that's not helping you, right? Psychologically, because we need to stay positive. We need to stay positive for ourselves. We need to stay positive for our families, and we need to stay positive for our clients, because I have clients who are calling me and texting me hourly sometimes, panicking about what's happening, and we need to be there for them. We need to be there emotionally, and psychologically to help them navigate this. And if we're not psychologically and emotionally sound, how can we help our team? So I think right now it's like just, buckling down, put your head down, put a business plan, right? I think a business plan is very important for next year.
Sure.
And I mean, that would be my advice, because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen in the real estate market. And if anyone says, oh yeah, market's going to go down 5-10%, I don't know. We don't know. We heard during COVID that COVID, this is it, it's coming down.
Right.
Didn't do that.
The end is near. Yeah,
Right.
definitely plan, plan your attack your plan, and plan for the worst, expect the best. I mean, we all have to be very positive. Love that part, Ivan. I mean, your positivity, you exude positivity. I'll tell you that, and it's so important. People are people, right? And they do a lot of things based on emotion. And I would say for those agents out there, dovetailing off what you said, that maybe haven't been in the business since 2007, right? There are a lot of new agents out there, and they're probably not used to having to hold someone's hand after the purchase. And that's a rarity, right? I mean, actually, hey, I bought a house 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, we were thinking of selling, and now we don't think we can. You better be prepared, and that's, my gosh, I could think of far worse things in life to be prepared for, than having to explain to someone about, their purchase of a home 2 years after the fact. So great sage advice. I love it. Awesome.
Tim, I want to say something, not to interrupt you, that came to mind that I think is very important. Every real estate agent needs to be prepared to have hard conversations.
Yes.
Because in the last couple of years, great, we got multiple offers. Great, the market keeps going up, right? Like, we were everyone's hero and everyone's best friend. And right now, there may be past clients of yours that you may have to deliver some news that, is not going to be the best. And that might not be this week or this month, but might be next year or the year after that. So just be prepared to have difficult conversations. And remember, it's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. It's about, right? You have to deliver your information with honesty and integrity and with empathy. Again, I want to use that word a lot, because in this market, we really need to be empathetic with our clients, both buyers and sellers, because in the next couple of months or year or two, we have no idea what's going to happen.
Right. And if everything does turn to squash, mush, you want to be able to hold your head up and walk out of it alive. And I think that's the only way you do it, right?
Exactly.
I do remember 2007 very well, 2008, and saw 40% of people have to walk out of a career that they loved, because they weren't prepared. And that's all it's about, right, Ivan? It's about being prepared for it. And I think that's the key, for sure.
Being prepared. Absolutely. Have a plan.
Have a plan. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, whether they wanted to ask you about your plan or what they should be planning for, or it's time to brand, which I think is the bigger picture, how would they get in touch with you or find you, Ivan?
Oh, well, I'm going to use this moment to do some selfless promotion.
Plug it, buddy.
So I have Brand with Purpose. These are all my secrets of branding, building a strong foundation. Brand with Purpose, you can get it on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, pretty much any bookstore around the country. It's also on Audible. So if you are not a reader and you want an Audible, it's definitely there. And I'm telling you, this is all the information I've learned along the way, which I think is very, very helpful in this market. And my TED Talk, actually, I just had a TED Talk last week that was released. It's all about personal branding. So if you go to TED.com, you'll be able to just search Ivan Estrada and be able to watch my TED Talk. I think it's very important, and also something that really carries through in this current real estate market for all real estate agents. And if they want to follow me, I have at Ivan Estrada Properties on my Instagram. there's all my real estate, my personal, my business, brand with video, which is my video branding course as well. That's on brandwidth.com. Again, another medium that we talked about it a lot earlier on. Guys, please do video. You got to put your pretty face on video, TikTok, Reels on Instagram, Facebook. Right now, it's that 15% who are doing video who I feel my gut tells me that they're going to be okay during this market. And it's the 85% that I'm worried about. And you do not want to be the 85%.
Oh, for sure. And a little stat that I'm familiar with, and I hope it's right, because I've kind of stood by this, but video compared to general content, say on a website or anywhere else, Facebook for that matter, or Insta, gets 900% more traction, which is a phenomenal number, right?
All right.
Look, we're a society of people who like to be told, and we enjoy the medium, right? We enjoy that. And so you're there. I mean, it, and that 85%, man, I gotta tell you, they're missing out. And so many of them are shy, or, I'm like, how can you be shy and be a realtor? First of all, that's my first question. So
yeah,
I think you're in the right spot.
It's about getting out of your head and getting out of your own way. Because remember, the only person who's stopping you from creating video is you.
Yes.
Right? You just gotta kind of face that fear and just go for it.
You got a phone, you got a story. So I'm gonna give you, we talked about this a little bit. I'm gonna give you the last 2 minutes and talk about whatever you feel is on your heart, your mind, your soul. And it could be your story a little bit more, or it could be your favorite pet kennel you want to promote, whatever it might be. Go ahead, Ivan.
Well, so I'll take this time to promote brand with video. We've been talking about video a lot during this conversation. And this is something that I started putting together about 2.5 years ago. This was supposed to be an in-person 2-day crash course. The first 4 modules are literally what we just talked about: how to get over the fear, how to get over the fear of how you look, of how you sound, of judgment of others. Because there's a lot of things that I learned along the way when I was in the entertainment industry on how to be on a stage and be comfortable, and be confident. And then obviously then creating the content, how to syndicate the content, how to put plan of action so that way your medium is actually being watched. Because I know a lot of people producing video and they're saying, well, nobody's watching it. And I said, because you're not putting a plan. You need to have a plan. Like, yes, it's easy to pull up a phone and create a video, but there needs to be a plan of action behind it in order for it to be successful. And that's why I created Brand with Video, which is a 2-week course. It's coached, so that way you have someone who's grading all of your videos along the way, so that way you know that you're getting better. And then also each module, it's not just watching videos. Like I said, you're producing videos and you're doing a lot of work. Every module, I'm telling you to do a lot of things that you're doing on your desktop that builds on. Module 1 to module 2. Module 2 builds on to module 3. And you see the connections of how it all works, so that way, by the time you're done 2 weeks later, and this is, you kind of take it as you go. So if you want to take it in 2 weeks, you can take it in 2 weeks. If you want to take it in 3 days, you can take it in 3 days. We don't recommend it.
Very brave, but okay.
Exactly. Or if you want to take it in a month, you take it in a month. But every real estate coach is like, you need to do video. You need to do video. And I thought, Tom Ferry, was one of my coaches as well. But I'm like, well, there's nothing out there to teach people how to do it. And so I created it. It took 2.5 years to do it, to write it, to have the infrastructure of technology to be able to support it. And so if you're having trouble getting started, if you go to brandwidth.com, you click on Brand with Video, I'm telling you, this course will change your business. And I tell people, if it doesn't, I will get you your money back. I've made that plan with agency, who's my partner in this program. We'll give people their money back. If they feel like they're not getting the value, I will give you your money back. That's you have my word.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that, right? I mean, you've got the secret sauce you're sharing with everybody, and whether they want to use it or not is up to them. They have to take the first step.
Right.
Great stuff, Ivan. I really appreciate you being on the show. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Definitely like to check in the next 3, 6, 9 months and see how things are going with you then.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan.